I just found out I'm the product of incest, and I don't know what to do next. Apologies if this is the wrong sub, but I feel like I need relationship advice. Throwaway for obvious reasons. Some backstory. So I, 23 female, have always noticed that my family is a bit different. There were just a lot of weird things that stuck out to me as I grew up. I never knew my extended family, never had any grandparents like the other kids. My mom and dad refused to talk about them, just saying that both of their parents were dead. We moved one day very abruptly when I was about 7, and we lived out of a hotel in another city for a few months until we got a new apartment. My parents don't seem to have any mementos from their childhoods, not even any pictures from before the time my older half-brother, 27 male, was young. I wondered from the time I was a teen if I might be adopted. My parents both insisted I wasn't, and I do look a lot like them, except with red hair. Neither of my parents are redheads, but 4 of their shared 6 children are. A few years ago, I became interested in doing one of those DNA tests. When I told my parents, they freaked. They both insisted that I couldn't, that the government would sell my information, and just a whole bunch of bizarre conspiracy shit. Rebellious soul that I am, I was undeterred. My boyfriend gave me a kit for Christmas last year as a gift, and I was thrilled. I am currently living with my parents due to losing my job due to COVID, and it took me a bit to actually around to doing the test. I got my results back 2 weeks ago, and everything went to shit. I checked my results, and I noticed right away that they were a bit off. I thought it must be an error. I matched with a few people in another state. A man contacted me, asking about my parents, since we are showing as closely related. I told him my parents' name, and he sent me a picture, asking me if I knew the people in the picture. It was a family photo, 2 parents and 4 kids, taken in I'm guessing the mid-80s. I recognized a teenage boy in the photo right away as my dad, and there was a little girl who looked a lot like my sister at that age, but brown-haired instead of red-haired. It took me an embarrassingly long time to put it together, but I finally realized that this girl was my mom. I told the man this, and he sent me another picture, taken at my dad's first wedding, to my older brother's mom. This time it was unmistakable. My teenage mother was one of the bridesmaids. Then the man dropped the bombshell. My parents are fucking siblings. This man is one of their brothers, hence my uncle. My dad is the oldest brother, 10 years my mom's senior, with my uncle and another brother between them. According to him, my mom, then aged 18, came to stay with my dad to help him take care of my brother after his first wife left. It was only supposed to be a few weeks while my dad got things settled. A few months later, they came their parents, claiming that they had fallen in love, and were pregnant. With me. Their parents understandably flipped their shit, and I guess CPS was called, but nothing came of it? My uncle isn't sure what went down exactly with that. In any case, my parents cut contact, and as far as I can tell, moved to another state, changed their last names, and got married. They are illegally married under false names. They then settled down and proceeded to pop out 6 freaking kids. My uncle recalled a time that his family found out from an aunt living in our state that she had run into my mom at the grocery store. He doesn't remember when this was, but I'm almost certain that this is the incident that led to our sudden move when I was a kid. I don't know where to go from here. I'm just numb. I can't sleep, I can't eat, I can't even look at my parents. I came downstairs the other day, and found them cuddling on the couch, my mom sitting in my dad's lap, and I about puked. I want to confront them, but I don't know how to go about it. I hate them for what they've done, but I still love them. I don't want to lose them. I feel like I need to tell my siblings, but I don't want to tear the family apart. My younger brother, 21 male, is planning to marry his girlfriend next year, and I worry about what will happen if they have kids. I feel like they all deserve to know the truth, so we can plan accordingly. I know that incest can lead to birth defects, so I don't know if we have anything that we could pass to any prospective children. I'm just so lost, and I can't take it. How do I breach this topic with my family? Too long did not read. I found out my parents are actually siblings, my siblings and I are the product of incest, and I need advice on how to move forward with my family relationships. Good Lord, I'm so sorry. Get into therapy. I think you need to confront them and tell your siblings, but perhaps get into therapy first. I'm shocked none of your siblings have anything wrong with them. Just wow. What's done is done. See a therapist and get professional advice. Reddit isn't really the best for real problems. Where are you from? Are you in the US? If CPS is informed of incest, wouldn't they be legally obligated to do something? Are you from Ohio, New Jersey, or Rhode Island? Incest is criminalized in every other state in the U.S. I feel like they would have a legal obligation to inform the authorities if they knew this, right? Well, your life is gonna be interesting from here on out. Medically, get a specialist in genetics to check you out and advise you of any issues you may face. Also future children, though that may be hard given how you plan to tell future partners. If you know all your siblings need to know unless you feel they should continue to be lied to. An extended family meet-up sounds in order to, and depending on how functional local social work and police or your parents could be in for some very uncomfortable times. What a shit show. Imagine being that self-absorbed that you bring children into the world knowing full well how badly it is likely to go for them. Due to your reprehensible actions. I am so sorry. Sad face. Your dad preyed on his little sister, 10 years her senior, and that's super fucked up. Obviously your mom kept having babies with him, and that's also really gross. I don't even know where you can proceed from here. I would suggest therapy, but it would suck for anything to happen where you and your siblings get separated due to CPS. I hope you find peace. Best of luck. If you were on your own health insurance, I'd probably just go get a full blood panel and some genetic testing done. I know that incest can cause a higher rate of fertility and genetic health issues. Because you just found out, I'd probably just get checked out to ease your mind or tackle anything while you're young. Know that this isn't your fault and your feelings are valid. It's a perversion and are not at fault. This doesn't change who you are. Okay, here's some advice based on what's best for you and your siblings. I'm assuming your parents are otherwise normal and treat you well. Talk to your parents alone, when no one else is in the house. You might get some closure from this, probably not. But they need to face up to this. Therapy, your parents should pay. You don't tell your siblings until the youngest is 18 and done with school. Telling CPS will blow up your entire lives. It will get out. They'll be bullied, and if they end up in foster care, I guarantee they'll wish they didn't. Once they're all 18, you can let them know and they can decide for themselves how they want to proceed. Why are you worried about your brother marrying his unrelated GF? I'm not advocating for incestual relationships, but it will take several generations of close incest to start producing some problems. My 35 male daughter, 17, is dating a creep in his 30s. I don't know if this is the best place to post this, but God, I need advice. Things at home have gone shit since I found out. I want to keep this damn creep from my daughter, but she's just so naive and thinks it's pure love. I wish I could make her understand. As for how I know, I regularly have to work really late. But last Saturday I finished early. I went home, planning to surprise my 17-year-old daughter, 'cause she thought I would be late as usual. I got home to find her with a man my age. I was livid and wanted to bash the asshole's skull in, but my daughter got in the way and stopped me, while the guy basically put his pants on and ran away. The guy, who is apparently only 2 years younger than me, is her boyfriend of a few months. Unfortunately, 16 is the age of consent here, so it's legal even if he's clearly a fucking predator. For the past week I've been trying to talk to her and get her to understand just how dangerous this is, and about age gaps and the power difference and stuff. She doesn't care, and has been desperately trying to convince me he's some perfect boyfriend. A perfect man doesn't prey on 16-year-olds though, so no. Apparently they hid their relationship cause he was worried. I wouldn't approve, more likely he gets how wrong it is. And somehow him wanting to hide their relationship didn't raise any red flags. The reason they were at our house was because she assured him I would be coming home late. She admitted she's done it before. Plus her mother is fine with the relationship somehow. She thinks I should just accept our daughter's relationship and loves. I cannot agree in this case. I've made it clear she isn't to see him, though I'm sure she will, at the very least when she's at her mom's. I did talk about protection to her, I have before, but I wanted to stress it, cause while it might undermine my don't see him at all message, getting pregnant so young would make it even worse. I don't know what to do. I want to protect my little girl. She's currently at her mom's and I feel so powerless and pathetic. I don't know how to make her realize she's making a mistake, that he's taking advantage of her. How can protect my daughter in this situation where she doesn't want help? TLDR, my 17-year-old daughter is with a man around my age. She doesn't see any issues, and it's unfortunately legal. What can I do to protect her? I agree with you 100%. I also agree with the comments saying to dial back the hatred because it can and will drive her away. Since legally you can't do anything, you just need to stay as close to her as possible without being overbearing. She needs to be able to trust you so that she comes to you if a problem arises. She's not going to come to you if she feels you'll tell her, "I told you so." Unfortunately, she's going to feel like this is love. She's not going to see what's wrong, no matter who tells her. Let her tell you about him. You don't have to support the relationship, but be in support of her. I know you just want to protect her. You're acting how any good parent would, but make sure you don't push her away. Teenagers would do anything for love, so stay close. Befriend the guy and make situation awkward for him and her. Tough spot dad. If you forbid her, it will continue, unfortunately. I would also agree this is predatory behavior. To keep your daughter safer, I would get her on birth control. Get her tested for STDs. Have that talk about safe sex. And make sure other areas of her life are going well: school, grades, friendships, post-high school plans. When I was younger, I always dated my own age. When I was in my 30s, I dated men that were older. My now husband is 19 years older. With that comes some benefit. Experience. Financial stability. Life experience. Wisdom. Well, I get all your objections. I don't think this will be over any time soon. Please read this op. It might give you some ideas. There's not much you can do. But forbidding their relationship will encourage your daughter to stay with her boyfriend. Whether it's to prove you wrong or to show everyone how grown up she is, she will stay with him if you tell her to break up with him. I recommend reading this link. It seems the best thing you can do is to try reverse psychology and agree to your daughter seeing him. Hopefully she will lose interest in him, with the relationship no longer being a secret. Ask her if you can start dating one of her friends, see if that gets it to her. A dad or brothers or uncles that can handle this. I don't know all the details, but maybe work less late and spend more time with her. Usually when there's a huge age gap like that, there are some parental issues on some level. I'm sure there's some sort of psychology concept based on this you could read up on. My 26M girlfriend, 26F, has set the bar way too high for what she expects for her birthday. We've been together for 5 months and things are going well. I really love her and we have great chemistry together. She is the nicest girl I've been with and is always doing so much to help me and anyone else. Act of service and gifts are her main love languages. She's told me that in her past relationships she's always been the one to provide service and give gifts, and since I'm different from those guys, I should be giving her so much more. We just got back home this week from a big vacation and I got a lot for her then. A week before the trip, she asked me to set up a scavenger hunt for her birthday. She wants me to organize a pool party with her friends the day after her birthday. She's also wanting a dinner out and small gifts too. Doesn't this sound like a little too much? I've already baked some cupcakes and ice cream for her. After spending a good amount on the vacation, I need to wait for another paycheck to be able to buy much more. I almost had the scavenger hunt all planned out for her birthday, but only recently she told me she's spending the day with her mom, so that really screwed up the plans I had for her. How should I tell her that I can't get her everything and not on schedule? Any one thing decent enough to have the value of multiple gifts? I don't want to bum her out, but still need to get her something. Update. I talked to her about all of this and we'll get back to balance. She admitted to be asking for too much, and if I do give her the scavenger hunt, the tab will be on her next time we go out drinking. I'll make sure she remembers I'm not the richest guy out there, and she apologized for asking for too much. It's just new to her. Bro, get a grip on her. She's super entitled. If you tolerate this, it'll be like this every year and it'll keep getting worse and worse. The problem here isn't telling her that you don't have the money to get what she wants. The problem here is that you shouldn't be okay with an entitled Thoshiana on your hands like that. You're young, you're not rich, don't allow your girlfriend to live above your standards. If she can't be happy with handmade, hard work cupcakes and ice cream of a couple hours of labor, she's ungrateful. People don't get to dictate what they do or don't get for their birthday. Sure, making suggestions for things that she thinks would be nice is one thing if you were completely clueless, but setting that as an expectation is too much. Especially after having just taken her on vacation. She needs to get over herself. Just because she hasn't been treated as well as she wanted in past relationships doesn't mean you need to make up for all of them. Plus, you've only been together 5 months. Saying that her love language is acts of service and receiving gifts doesn't excuse being entitled, which is what she is. Everyone I've talked to whose love language is gift-giving, receiving, mostly likes things that are handmade. Maybe a flower that you saw on the side of the road, etc., things like that. It's literally the thought that counts, not the price. And asking for it takes away the genuine and thoughtful aspect of getting someone a gift or doing something for them. The first birthday together, which is less than 6 months into the relationship. It's still reasonable for flowers and a cake, and a meal together. You're going to have to say no to some of those things. Along with the big vacation and probably many more things that you're paying for, she is probably thinking you'll just be glad to keep spending on her if you don't put a stop to it. I sincerely hope this is a troll because otherwise you are one seriously, stupidly, gullible dumbass. Manage her expectations gently but firmly. She seems pretty demanding and high maintenance. Definitely she is taking the PSS. You guys have only been together 5 months, she should be grateful for a nice meal out and a small gift from you, never mind half of what she's asking you for. GF goes out for the best night of her life. Okay, so basically my girlfriend and I have already been a little shake recently. She goes out with 2 of her friends, so some bar, club. She says she didn't pay for a single drink and that it was because it was her friend's b-day and everyone at the bar was having fun. Great, so far so good. Apparently they meet up with a group of 3 guys. They're about 25 and for reference my girlfriend and friends are all 21. They end up going back to their place and playing drinking games, smoking, having a great time. I'm genuinely glad she had a good time and they all left the guy's house at like 4 a.m. As she's telling me about her night she mentions that it was, honestly, the best night of my life. I was a little taken back and responded saying like, what about the night we first met, or what about our real first date when we became official and saw stars on the roof? Amazing nights in my opinion, very sentimental stuff, not like raging, partying, and probably the best in my life, and she used to say the same. She stood her ground, and while I'm not really mad about anything she did, it made me feel pretty insignificant that she values partying with her friends and random dudes more than really sentimental times with me. For reference, we've been dating for about 9 months. She was very happy about the night and I don't like raining on her parade. That comment just made me feel shitty and IDK if I should mention that I'm upset about it or it's completely stupid. Too long did not read. Girlfriend goes out partying with friends, meets up with random guys and goes back to theirs. Claims it was a better night than I've ever given her, including when we met. Really sentimental, good memories. Both 21 years old, 9-month relationship. Honestly, I'm surprised you weren't bothered more by her going to complete stranger's place. I would be very upset if my girlfriend did that, and she would if I did the same. Either way it was just a statement, I wouldn't overthink it. So she goes drinking and to random men's place. Then says it's better than any time she's spent with you. Emo, this is straight up disrespect. I would take it very seriously if I were in your shoes. I think her statement has to be looked at, like a favorite food question. Sometimes you crave Mexican. Another time you kill for some cookies, and the next time it's ice cream. The same ice cream on a hot day tastes a lot better than on a cold winter morning. Best night ever with 3 random strangers and 3 girls. Perfect way to spend the whole night. Free drinks, 3 friends, 3 new friends, and a big one to top off the night. Go out with your friends, bar hop, then end up in some random chick's apartment, house, flat until 4 a.m. and see how that plays out. Firstly, it's dangerous, especially with date rape, drugs, etc. Secondly, it's disrespectful. Third of all, you need to set some boundaries. I was in your shoes few years ago and I ended up destroying that relationship because I overanalyzed it. But again, my ex was 22 and I was 26. Like, we both were in different aspects of life, so our evening after work is way different. We didn't communicate what's bothering us and blamed each other. You have to ask yourself whether it's bothering you for other reasons. Whether you wish to sit and have a detailed open conversation about how it made you feel. It's been 9 months, so you have to take that into consideration too. See whether you can join her during one of this wild nights. See whether you can hang out with your own crew late nights to distract yourself. Most of the time it's because of insecurity and miscommunication that gets blown out of proportion. So she told you no one was looking to hook up and that reassures you? Seriously? What would she tell you if they were? Answer. That they weren't. And the guys? They weren't trying to hook up at 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Fucking. Please. Best night of her life included banging a rondo while drunk and high. Guarantee it.